Hi everyone, today I'm going to be going over how to have a successful trip in the countries of Venezuela and Austria. One thing to know about Venezuelans and their culture is that they hold a lot of pride for their country, and you can see this in the way that they celebrate 4 Independence Days to celebrate their independence from Spanish colonialists. Another thing to know is that they have high regard for their families, and whenever they need assistance, they're the first ones they go to, and they also are known to live in very close proximity to them. Venezuelans are known to be very hospitable people, and they take pride in making sure everyone feels welcome and comfortable. As for religion, the majority of Venezuelans are known to be Roman Catholic, and that makes up around 90% of all Venezuelans. But one thing to know is that they have freedom of religion written into their constitution, so they accept all religions. What should you wear for your meeting? So for your meeting, if for men, you need to wear a good quality dark colored suit, and for women, you need to wear an elegant or stylish dress and suit. And you also need to make sure you have really good hygiene because they pay attention to that. So you need to make sure you have manicures, pedicures, makeup, and jewelry. These meetings will be conducted in the capital city of Venezuela, which is Caracas. And this location was chosen because it is one of the biggest hubs for business in the country. It can be at a business location or it could be at a reputable hotel. Some things to know is that you need to make an appointment at least 2 weeks in advance with them, and you need to confirm at least 1 week in advance. Avoid scheduling meetings around holidays or weekends because Venezuelans usually tend to take that time off. Your first meeting will be formal and it must be punctual. You also must have all written material in English and in Spanish because that is the most common language spoken in Venezuela. For greetings and gifts, some things you must know is that you need to use a firm handshake, smile, and use direct eye contact. And when shaking hands, you need to use the appropriate time of the day. So if you're trying to say good day, you say buenos dias. If you're saying good evening, you say buenas tardes. And if you are trying to say good night, you say buenas noches. If you are invited to dinner, you need to make sure you send orchids in advance. You need to address people by their academic or professional title or surnames because they take status very seriously. Always send a handwritten thank you note after meeting. And lastly, do not give any handkerchiefs as they are a sign of bad luck to them. For the agenda for the meeting, you must remember that the first meeting is formal and you must be punctual, and you are expected to meet face to face. Appearances are very important, so you will need to dress appropriately and stay in a reputable hotel if you can. Your first meeting will only be to exchange ideas, and a decision will come after multiple meetings. So the agenda will go as follows. First, you need to use appropriate greetings and exchange business cards with everyone, and make sure that the Spanish side is facing up so they are better to understand it. Second, have small talk before speaking about business because they like to get to know you first. So next, you will get to know each other to make sure you build trust between each other. Next, you will exchange ideas and discuss. And lastly, you will send a handwritten thank you note to the senior executive after meeting to make a lasting impression. How will I get their business? So in order to get into business with Venezuela, there are several considerations that are really important. First, you need to make a great impression by dressing appropriately and greeting everyone respectfully with their appropriate titles. Make sure to give the Venezuelans your business card with your titles and education as they value status. Take the time to build a relationship and do not be eager to jump into business because they value relationships and they like to get into business with people they know more closely. Another thing to know is that decisions will take a long time, so do not expect a decision in the first meeting. And lastly, allow enough time to convince them on why they should do business with you, as they have a high uncertainty avoidance. So they do not like risk taking, and they value long-term goals, not short-term goals. Next, we'll be focusing on Austria. So some things to know about Austrians and their culture are that they are very culturally diverse, and this is evident in the many different custom, architectures, foods, and dialects that are spoken in the region. Family is the basis of their social structure, and they usually tend to live close to each other. Austrians take pride in their homes, and you must know that they usually only invite friends and close relatives. Lastly, you need to know that Austrians are known to be conservative people and they value neatness and appearance a lot. For your meetings, you are expected to wear conservative outfits and you must look elegant. So for men, you need a good quality dark colored suit, and for women, you need to be elegant in a dress or suit, and you must make sure that you're wearing accessories. We will be conducting these meetings in the capital of Austria, which is Vienna, and they like to hold their first meetings at restaurants. So your first meeting will be formal and you must be punctual, as it is a big sign of respect. You must make an appointment 3 to 4 weeks in advance to make sure that they have enough time to include everyone who needs to be in this meeting. Lastly, another thing to note is that you need to avoid scheduling a meeting during holidays because they usually do not work during this time. For greetings and gifts, you must use a firm handshake and direct eye contact. You must shake hands with everyone who's present, and you need to address them by their academic or professional titles. If you're invited to dinner, bring a small gift of consumables like chocolates. If you're giving flowers, make sure to not give any even numbers other than 12, as it is considered a sign of bad luck. And lastly, if you're giving flowers, do not give red carnations, lilies, or chrysanthemums. As for the agenda for the meeting, you must remember that first meetings are formal, and it is extremely important to them that you are punctual to show respect. Meetings adhere to strict agendas and times, so you must be prepared because this will show them that you respect their time. Remember that appearances are of value and you will be judged on how you appear and on your demeanor. So you have to make sure that you are presenting yourself in a good manner. Your first meeting will be in a restaurant, and something to know is that Austrians enjoy linking food with business because this way you get to know each other, but you also get to talk in a serious manner, but it makes it more civil. Another thing you can think about is hiring an interpreter to avoid any miscommunication or misunderstandings, because Austrians need clarification of any questions asked. The agenda for the meeting will go as follows. You need to use appropriate greetings and exchange business cards, and you need to establish your credibility early on by exchanging any profiles, education, or titles. You need to exchange all ideas and discuss. And then you need to exchange all written material and make sure that you have it available in English as well as German, since that is the most common spoken language in Austria. Lastly, give them time to ask any questions and be able to back it up with any information. How will they get their business? In order to get into business with Austria, some very important things to consider is that you need to be punctual, you need to dress to impress. You should speak to the locals of where you are meeting to be aware of any customs in the area. You need to become culturally aware of cultural differences and principles. You need to not speak in hyperboles and be very respectful. Make sure to send any credentials, profiles, or titles prior to meeting to establish your credibility early on so that they could take you more seriously. You need to stick to a strict agenda, once again, to show that you respect their time. Make sure to be well prepared, as Australians do not like any surprises. So any questions that they need to ask, you need to be able to provide them with an answer. Avoid any high pressure tactics or aggressive behavior. Be patient and do not act surprised by their business protocols. So if they bring up a topic, you need to be able to not be bothered by that and be able to answer whatever question they have. After your meeting, you need to send a follow-up letter with anything that was agreed upon and the next steps, as well as who you should keep in contact with that will make the ultimate final decision. You should also be prepared for weeks of communication following your meeting to iron out all details. So, that is all I have for today. Thank you for your time and good luck.